Morning, students. So, we will be discussing the introduction, the overview of our subject matter. And as always, it is a new beginning for us in every chapter or in every semester, rather. And it's now the second semester, your last semester. So, we're hoping that you'll be graduating this semester. And of course, we have to start with leveling our expectation because by leveling the expectation, we'll have our benchmark, no? And this will be a check and balance as to the reality for the whole semester. And that's why I have required you to have the first activity, no, for the expectation in the class. And of course, in anything that we do, we have to find ways to make things easier for us. And one would be we need to always start with an end in mind. And one of the approaches that we're going to use will be the 5 Ws. Siyempre, unahin ko yung nag-start sa name ko, W. And of course, it would be looking first at, syempre dapat alam nyo kung sino yung karelasyon nyo dito, no? So who are we talking about? When we say who, since this is management advisory services, then we're looking at the decision maker. The decision maker of the business organization, and at what level. It will be at the tactical and at the strategic. This will be the board, okay? And if it will be the board of directors, then this will be the manager. Okay, so we're looking at the levels of management, who's making the decision, and why management advisory services? Because you have to be equipped with the tools to make decision. That's why you're looking at the tools, no, for this subject matter. Then what will be looking at the activities, the coverage, no? And our coverage will be looking at management accounting, financial management, and econ. Okay? Why management accounting? Why financial management? It's a decision that you have to make are all for internal users. And you have to consider what's happening, no? Uh, in the business environment. That's why you have to look into the economics discipline. And how about when? Since you're looking at decision making, then your timeline will be on a short term basis, it will be a year. And on a long term basis, it will be 5 or more, or you even have your medium term plan. And the tools that you're going to make will be looking at for short term, for medium term, and for long term. Where, of course, where would be looking at the effect that your decision will be making. Now, of course, it will be the organization. It would affect the organization, and it would affect the stakeholders. And of course, you're looking at the operations. Is it operating domestically or is it operating internationally? And when you talk about approaches, would it matter if it if you're operating only domestic, or if you're operating both domestic and at the international level? Somehow, because you have to consider the cultural differences, behavior when making decisions. You know, there are some twists that you have to consider. Now, if that is the W's that we have to look into, then what about the next one? Ano pa yung susunod natin na i-consider? Siyempre, tipo. No, lagi nating mini-mention 'yan, eh, 'no. I'm very fond of tipo kasi kailangan tipo natin yung ginagawa natin, 'di ba? Para sa accounting, hindi tayo matipos. Alam naman natin 'pag sinabing tipos sa'tin medyo, that it does have a negative connotation, but, for us, tipo would be dito matututunan natin yung management accounting tools in planning, in controlling, and decision making. That would be our focus. And likewise with financial management, because with financial management, it would not rather assist us in planning, controlling, and decision making as well. So, yung tatlong areas, no? Ito yung ibibigay sa atin. Now, what would be our input if it is management accounting? If it is financial management. Of course, if it is management accounting, your input will be from financial accounting, from cost accounting, because uh, they are the ones who made the recognition and evaluation of the activities of the organization. And if it is in financial management, of course, same with management accounting, it would make use of financial accounting and accounting. Almost all of the information from accounting will be used by financial management. And how about econ? The input would be the vision, mission, goal of the organization, your BMGO, no, the BMGO of the organization, because that would be our guide in the direction that we're going to take when making our decision. Well, the process will be, of course, the planning process, the decision making process, and the controlling process. Kasi yun yung focus natin, no, with our tools, and the output, syempre, decision making. Diba? Every time that you have, sorry, management accounting or the word management in your subject, it entails making decision, and in order for you to have relevance and reliability, remember that's our concern, no, the qualities of the information, relevance and reliability. That's where your S will be crucial, storage, and that would be documentation, no. Documentation is very important because it would have an evidence on the processes that you have undertaken, and it would serve as basis in making decision and to determine if had we been consistent, do we have the feedback value, do we have the the criteria for an organism for an information to be relevant and reliable. So your experience point here will be, ano ang ingredient para maging relevant at para maging reliable. So yan yung ating experience point. Okay? Now, other approach would be the 5 steps rule. No? As a person, we should also do this. Not only in class, no? Or as a student. We always have also the 3H approach. Ma'am, ano ba yung 5 steps rule at saka 3H? Well, since we've been together for a while, then ito yung madalas challenging, no? Kahit nung face-to-face pa, yung knowing when to listen. No? Because listening is, will give us more. Dapat talaga we have to enhance our listening skills for us to be able to focus. And of course, we have to find the time to rest and stop for us to be rejuvenated para alam mo yon, uh, magkaroon tayo ng mas lakas pa. Eh, hindi pwedeng you do not find the time to rest, no? All work, no play makes us dull. And of course, in anything that we do, we have to reflect. Why reflect? Because there's a way for us to review what we did and assess uh, which are our strength, which are our weaknesses, and improve on our weaknesses, and lever on our strength for us to be stronger and the strongest. And because this is a way for us to be able to retool by knowing what would be or what are our weaknesses, diba? We can act on our weaknesses. We can. It's a way for us to adapt, to make the changes, for us to be better individual or better achieve our goal, and knowing which one to retain, knowing which are most important, no? And for us to be able to retain, of course, we have to really work on it. No, we have to persist. We have to be diligent, and in order for us to absorb, no, the learning materials. I know it would be quite a lot, but well, we have no choice. We chose a discipline that demands a lot from us. So talagang gagawin natin lahat na magagawa natin. Ngayon, kung sa tingin natin ay it's getting difficult for us, then class, seek assistance. That's why we're here, no? So if you think our materials are not enough, then and if you think that we need to coach you individually, then just reach out and we'll find the time. No, we'll schedule it. Okay. That the 3H approach is the one that would maximize us, para kang maging Hercules, no? Yung sa leverage natin. Um, that we have to make use of our head, our heart and hands in the 5 steps rule, no? Para daw we would be able to sustain. Kasi sustainability naman ang challenge, 'di ba? Pag may ginagawa tayo, madaling mag-start. Ang tanong can we be able to sustain what we have started? And what would sustain us would be, of course, the 3H approach. Why the 3H approach? Kasi the head, hindi nyo napansin, sa accounting, ang kailangan natin critical thinking skills. We actually hindi nga natin kailangang magaling sa math kasi akala nila pag sa accounting you have to be very good in math. No, it's not, 'di ba? You have to be good in critical thinking, and that is a skill that you have to acquire, and you have to practice, no? And when why heart? Because nako, class. Ito talaga yung, if the head is important, that's our knowledge. That's the think tank. The heart, ito yung tatagal ka ba? Siya yung magbibigay sa'yo ng tibay, no? Siya yung magsasabi sa'yo na, kaya mo to, no? Talaga ba, ma'am, hindi yung head? No, the heart. Kasi you have to be able to overcome pressure. And tibay ng dibdib, sabi nga, 'di ba? Hindi naman sinasabing tibay ng ulo, 'di ba? Tibay ng dibdib. So it's the heart. You need to have the passion. No? You have to be able to sustain your passion. And and of course, it should not be all wishes, no? Ano man yung naisip mo, no? Ano man yung gusto mo, aba dapat class. You need to be able to put it into action. Kaya nga sabi, the head is the think tank, the heart is the passion. You have to count your blessing. You have to count, no, the things that I need to seek assistance. Kasi no man is an island naman, diba? And act on it for us to be better, for us to be able to achieve, no, what we're aiming for. And of course, at the end of the day, no, it's always about who would be the people involved in partnership in the subject matter. And then, syempre, in the school, I'll be your partner, no. And at your end, it's always about it's a continuous stage of getting to know each other because we grow, no. What if first year kayo hanggang ngayon na fourth year kayo, look back, am I the same when I was in freshman and now when I'm in my fourth year as a senior? 'Di ba? Ang laki na nung growth that we had as an individual. There are a lot of changes already. So that's why I requested you as your second activity to make a write up on aside from a historical event on talents, ano to past, present, and future. But most often, you're looking at the past and present. The talents that you had since your elementary up to now, and the hobbies and the interests that you have. What are your significant experiences? from elementary up to that made a significant impact at your end. Likewise with the learnings, no? And how, no? Especially now, the pandemic. No? 2 taon na tayo, class, na work from home arrangement and asynchronous mode with the classes that we have. How does it transform us, no? With my children, it's also really a transformation at their end, no? So that's why we have to make a story, you know. We have to give our story about it. And of course, our course is management advisory services. It's a review, no, but we'll start from assuming that we have zero knowledge, no. So your lecture would be giving you the basics, and then we'll have demonstration, uh, lecture for the reviewers, no. Then the code would be accounting 4225, and it is a 3 unit subject. A 3 unit subject, which would be quite demanding because it is a review. And of course, the prerequisite you've been able to um, have your OJT and the research. Okay. I think you also have your research now, diba? So that would be challenging as well. Then, how long? Normally, we start at the 4th week of January and we end at the 4th week of May. Uh, Tanggalin natin yung Holy Week, the University Week, which would be around a week. And that we were going to have an average of 17 weeks to cover the one that has been given to us in the CPALE syllabus by the Board of Accountancy. And however, itong 17 weeks na 'to nga, yung first week natin na-involve pa sa mga pag-aayos dun sa registration ng first week, 'di ba? So, we'll compress it to 16 weeks, reduced by uh, yung ating term exam, no? Na 3 week. Nako, di 13 weeks na lang, 'di ba, class? Yung talagang for you to be able to focus on learning the material kasi yung para sa term exam, wrap up na yun eh. You'll have your feedback lecture for what you have given in your exit slip in terms of where you are uh, having questions, no, on topics that are not clear to you. Now, what what will be our coverage? Of course, in term one, it will only be management accounting, and in term two, it will be management accounting and financial management. Term three, financial management and econ. Going back to the subjects that you had before, sige, isipin nyo, class, gaano kadami yung covered nito. You started with cost accounting, and then after cost accounting, you had your strategic cost also, 'di ba? And then we have our management accounting. O, pang ilan na 'yan? Ano pa? And then you have your strategic business analysis and subjects in statistics. Okay? O ilan yung stat nyo? 2. 'Di ba? Ano pa? Ang finance nyo, ilan ang finance nyo? 3. Nako, daming subject natin na ano, 'di ba? Isa-summarize. No? Then you have also your econ. Ilan ang econ nyo? 3. 'Di ba? O ano pa yung ibang isasama natin dito? Well, somehow, other management subject will be um, related, your strategic management. Oo, kasi ano to eh, making decision. So, di kadami, oh, di ba? Yung eco, so that's how challenging the topics that you are going to cover. But the good thing is we have the syllabus, so we know which one to prioritize, 'di ba? But you had been prepared for this subject. Ganun kadami, class. Kaya nga talagang dapat pag natapos tayo sa isang subject, we find the time to remember yung most basic. Actually, pag nasa college tayo, anak, uh, what we have to remember are the foundations, no? Yung mga basic. Kasi we are going to assume that everybody knows about the basic. Yung mahirap-mahirap na yan eh, no? So you just have to practice more to make things easy for you. Pero yung foundation, whether we like it or not, we have to assume that everybody knows it. Okay, so we'll stop at this point. We'll have part two of the introduction. So thank you very much for listening. Hopefully, you'll be able to participate in our reward system. No? Thank you and good day. Always keep safe.